dude, I really, really hope we didn't lose the beginning of the hour. But you know what I don't mind losing?
What's under there?
What the fuck? What is that supposed to be, man?
I don't know.
My favorite is the OMG Chads over your teats.
I'm the pasties in that. The pasty chads.
Oh, good. Finally, we've got one of these. Here's, what was the name of this? Something Panda Scare or something? Baby Panda Scare.
Totally. You're really good at animals, Bri.
I tell you, man. Look at how happy they look. They're clearly excited, man.
You're scared their shadows off of them.
Okay, T2T2 says the recording was successful, so we will get that and we'll back it up. We'll download
By the
it.
way, the BBpedia, always such a great resources for all the shows that Brian, you are involved in, or me and Andrew are involved in. And the quote from this episode is "You honor me" from Andrew May.
Okay, do you want to? I figure we'll go ahead and we'll do our readings of 2 episodes of or DIAF, and then we'll do weird things.
Sure. Let's. We're gonna be one Tick Jones on DIAF though.
Yeah, no, we got to plow right through it. DIAF is 183 in audio podcasts and iTunes, just before Mac Break Weekly.
What the fuck?
You want to see the link of that business? Check this shit out, bro.
Wait, is this Canadian?
I don't think so. This one clearly.
There's got a lot of Canadian shit going on this particular thing.
Right
including
here, bro.
CBC, NHL Insider from TSN, which is a Canadian thing.
It's unacceptable, guys.
Little fudge. You thought you were safe at work. Think again.
I like the spelling, too.
Spiro. Well, what do you expect with, where do you think he sticks little fudge? He spears you with it. Come on. All right.
Hello, kitties.
Are you ready?
I don't have my episodes of my script for DIAF. And we got to pick what
chaos
Andrew's gonna
buffering,
pick,
right?
too.
Chaos buffering.
I just wait until the chat room sends it to me.
Well, I'm already there because I'm that good. Ooh, wow. Hero Cup breaks alien's face is arc 2 chapter 2. He's already doing a different arc. He's already ahead of the curve, bro.
I'll tell you what. I don't know if he's been elected the writer of the second arc though.
Well, all I'm saying is, it's like he'll keep it rocking, I'm sure, as long as there's rocking to be rocking.
Okay, we need to give Andrew a character.
Well, I feel like to be consistent with this arc, I should continue to do the characters I did before. Well, yeah, that's the problem is I did a bunch of those.
Well, I mean, the voice is going to be modified. Let's do one of the ones where your voice was modified.
Yeah. I mean, that's all of them. All the ones but me, they modified.
All right, then, Andrew, do you want to do my lines?
No, you should do your lines. I mean,
well, because I do the narrator, so it's fine if you do the Justin character.
That would be kind of a funny recurring thing if every other person played Justin, and meanwhile Justin was the narrator all the time.
Whatever
Are you down with that, Andrew?
You want. But I mean, the chat room is spoken up here.
Well, chat room is saying you should be the narrator, but the problem is we don't know that we'll always have a volunteer of the quality of Andrew Main. And what I don't want to do is paint us into a corner where we get a volunteer who sucks as a narrator.
Well,
since they're the
I don't know
primary-
if it's that anyone's gonna suck. I think it's just it's a lot, and
it's a lot to throw
ask
at someone.
of a new person.
Cheeto is screaming he should be 4chan, and I guess he's read the thing. What's up, Bon?
I think it'd be a bad idea to switch up the Justin voice.
Oh, okay. Bonnie burst into the door just now to say it'd be a bad idea to switch it with the Justin voice. Chat room is shouting that he should play the voice of 4chan, which I think would be an easy thing for us to toss at anyone, one specific guest role. Right, Justin?
Yeah, I just don't see a lot of 4chan in here.
No
Unless it's
problem.
in the fifth one.
Hey, listen, Alec Baldwin, how much did he have in Glengarry Glen Ross? One scene.
That's true.
Let's see.
That's all it took. That's all it took. You know what? I'm down with that because especially knowing that we'll never know who we
See
get.
these medals? See these medals?
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Look at those medals, man. Don't tell Andrew. Always be Channing.
Yeah.
I was at, I went and saw True Grit, and they showed an ad for Someplace, and I was laughing my ass off as Elle Fanning showed up, and I remembered our pitch for Someplace with Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
All right. So
All
where does 4chan show up though?
I don't know. They say it happens. We're doing two of them. We're doing two readings side by side.
All right.
So we'll any 4chan characters will be you. You following that, Andrew?
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Do I need a link for this?
Yes. I'm posting it in the chat. Are you watching the chat?
Yeah, no, there's no 4chan dialogue.
All right. Well,
Perfect.
whatever.
Excellent. Thank you for the person that suggested
Cheeto
that.
is the one who suggested it, and I believed him because it was Cheeto. We got to find something simple.
Thank you, Cheeto.
All right, they say Drew Shipper. Yeah, Captain Drew Shipper, something that you didn't do, Andrew or Brian.
Okay, good. Okay, so Captain Drew Shipper will be you. I think it's Drew Cypher.
Well, that's going to be up to me saying.
It's going to be up to fucking Maine. All right. All right, you ready?
Hold on. Where do I read? Hold on. This is confusing. This is not script format. You'll hear from my agent.
All right, so anytime
returns my
there's a
call.
dialogue bubble, just follow along with Justin. Anytime there's a dialogue buffalo, a dialogue
yes.
buffalo shows up, and then we'll do that.
Wait, who am I?
Drew Cypher.
Drew Cypher.
DREWSIPHER.
So your first line would be, you two, Drucifer points to Brian and Justin. What weapons do you wield?
Wait.
Justin,
Wait,
can I?
wait, what is it? That the line, the first one, or is it when they say Captain Just what do we have, and he says a small contingent of soldiers of
Oh, no,
4chan?
you're right.
Jesus.
Good.
There is a town.
Okay, so Justin,
Yeah.
would you do me a favor and in the intro, just throw in one line like the audiobook presentation of DIAF, the only series of fan fiction produced by the fans and performed by the subjects,
Okay.
or something like that. If you think there's a better way to put it, because there will be, now that we're number one, like in the top 150 of all podcasts, people are going to come here, and I feel like we should put something in that clearly lays the table for these guys.
Sure. I will lay a mean table.
Okay. All right, you ready?
All right. Here we go.
Say when.
N-word. This is DIAF, performed by Brian Brushwood, Justin Robert Young, and Andrew Main. DIF is the only audiobook presentation of fan fiction written by the fans and performed by the subjects. Chapter 4. Is your firewall up?
We need to get out there and defend the city.
Gigaloop yells as she grabs a sword and jumps over the bar.
Defend the city?
Brian asks as he stands up and follows Gigaloop out of the bar.
From what? 4chan.
Gigaloop exits the bar and looks around for the action.
They're our neighbors to the east.
The three head toward the east, where all the soldiers are gathering.
We used to be allies in the war, but they got too large, too barbaric, and they finally tried to destroy Chat Realm due to the silly hubris.
They approach the east wall and a man standing next to a massive raptor, petting it while sharpening a sword.
Try Captain Drucifer. What do we have?
Small contingent of soldiers, 4chan. Maybe 100. 200 at the most. But nothing to be underestimated.
The man says as he sheathes his sword and feeds a raptor a chicken. An arrow shoots over the wall as the roars of the soldiers can be heard just on the other side.
You two!
Drucifer points at Brian and Justin.
What weapons do you wield?
Well, I'm good with sabers, Justin laughs, of both the light and non-light variety.
All right.
Captain Drucifer throws Justin a massive hooked metal sword, who looks at it confused and then swings it with glee. Drucifer now looks on to Brian.
Well, I don't suppose you guys have any guns. I'm a master marksman.
Brian scratches his head.
Very good.
Drucifer hands Brian a long bow and a quiver of arrows.
Well, I've never really fired a bow.
Brian looks at the bow.
I'll figure it out.
Gigaloop swings her sword in smooth strokes.
What's the plan, Captain?
She asks as she rests her sword on her shoulder.
I think we're going to do the firewall.
Drucifer mimes an explosion.
Where's my goddamn oil?
2 soldiers run up with cauldrons of oil.
Ah, Swagger and Private Aloic. Very good. You two have the tough job for today. Need to go out on the other side of the wall and get this oil as well dispersed among the enemy as possible.
Yes, sir.
Swagger and Alex salute.
We're going to cover you as well as possible to keep you alive.
Drucifer says as he signals a squad of soldiers.
Are you two ready?
Sir.
Open the gate!
Drucifer yells and the east gate slides open. Barbaric-looking soldiers try and run into the city but are beaten back out of the gate by the Knights of Chat Realm. An opening into the horde of invading forces is made by the soldiers, and Swagger and Private Alec run into the fray with pots of oil, letting it seep out as they run into the horde of 4chan soldiers. Archers on top of the walls keep them covered with well-placed arrows to the head or groin of the enemy combatants. Brian runs up the ramparts and starts to try to fire with the bow, while Justin stands at the gates of the city and prepares to fight off anyone who enters with his oversized saber.
Almost got it!
The Swagger can be heard yelling from within the hordes of enemies as he dumps more and more oil and dodges a sword, kicking the foolish soldiers square in the testicles. A 4chan soldier wielding a massive axe breaks through the line and enters the gate, coming straight for Justin. Justin's eyes get wide as he prepares his sword. The soldier raises his axe high and brings it down with a heavy cleave. Justin rolls out of the way just as the axe slams into the ground. He rolls to his feet and brings the saber quickly across the back of his enemy's legs. The 4channy falls to his knees and Justin prepares the death strike, but is caught by a quick backhand by the soldier. Justin is knocked back into the wall. As Justin tries to collect himself, he is caught by a swift kick, dropping him to the ground. He looks up at the massive axe as it blocks out the sun overhead. The 4channy soldier looks down at Justin and begins to bring his axe down. All of a sudden, he stumbles forward, dropping the axe harmlessly to the ground. And reaching around his back, he turns around. Justin sees an arrow lodged squarely in his spine. Up on the ramparts, Brian is cheering.
It worked! It worked! I finally got it!
Brian cheers, jumping high and trying to click his heels, but failing miserably. The 4channy soldier falls into the dirt.
Done!
All that can be heard screaming from behind the walls of the 4chan forces. He and Swagger have dispersed the oil and we're on the other side of the invading horde. From on high on the ramparts, Cheeto signals them and they both drop their cauldrons and run off around the enemy forces.
Close the gates!
Sir Cheeto yells. Gigaloop kicks a man in the face and throws him by the throat out of the city as rows of archers fire into the enemy force. The 4chan militia backs off for a second and the gate slams shut.
Good!
Cheeto yells.
Kuhan!
Cheeto yells the name, but nothing happens. The enemy forces begin to hammer at the gates.
Kuhan!
This time Cheeto is joined in by several others in screaming the name. Down in the city, a man sitting in a chair eating a sandwich looks up confused. Kuhan now remembers his task, drops his sandwich into the dirt, and grabs his bow and runs toward the east wall. He arrives, lights the tip of the arrow on fire. He pulls back his string as hard as he can and fires the flaming arrow over the wall. Onto the other side, the ground bursts into flames, as do many of the 4chan soldiers. Those are not dying in a fire begin to die and flee for their lives from the flame. Back to the eastern kingdom of 4chan. Kuhan smiles and walks back over to his chair. Picking up his sandwich, he sits back down, and after picking a pebble from his snack, takes a bite and laughs.
Kuhan.
Cheeto says in utter amazement. The Swagger and Private Alec appear back in town, having run all the way around the west gate. Brian and Justin meet up, and just inside the gate, Justin points down to the massive soldier that had almost killed him.
Look at that guy.
Brian flexes his arm and kisses his bow.
I killed me a giant.
Come on now, Brian, Justin says with his hand on his saber and some random person passing by. I helped.
Sure.
Brian rests his bow on the wall as Gigaloop approaches with specks of blood on her face.
You guys did good out there.
She sheathes her sword and wipes blood from her dress.
Thanks, but I was actually wondering if you knew how we might get back to where we came from.
Brian asks with a concern on his face.
And where was that exactly?
Gigaloop starts to walk back toward the bar, and Brian and Justin follow shortly behind.
That's kind of
complicated. Justin tries to figure out the best way to say it. Simplest way to say is, we ain't from around here.
Well, if it's something like that, then I'd talk to Patrick Delahanty. He's the keeper of the knowledge, and you'll find him at the library.
Gigaloop points over to an old stone building.
If there's a way back home for you two, P. Delahanty will know it. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation of DIAF, brought to you by the fans of NSFW, available at nsfwshow.com. This episode was performed by Brian Brushwood, Justin Robert Young, and Andrew Main. You can subscribe to DIAF on the iTunes podcast. See future episodes and current episodes at diaf.nsfwshow.com.
Chapter 5. Captain Jucifer gets a medal. You honor me.
I hate that the only big screw up was me accidentally stepping on your line. I couldn't jump ahead to see if that was mine or not, and I ended up.
No, I mumbled a few times, but I think that was good.
That was solid. That was definitely solid. I'm ready for the next episode. Between you and me, a little bit excited to see where this goes. Like, this is genuine fun for me, and I hope this continues to be stupidly popular.
Okay, here we go.
Somebody say, and then Justin rolls a 12.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me find chapter 5.
Bottom of that.
There we go.
Andrew, do you want to be a Patrick Delahanty in this one? But you have to affect a voice.
An effeminate voice?
No. Not effeminate. Just some kind of voice. Whatever you think P. Delahanty, the wizard behind the BBpedia, and somebody who's very important to Brian Brushwood and Justin Robert Young personally would sound like.
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe like a Gandalf or what's the Harry Potter master wizard? Dumbledore.
I can do like Gimli. Oh, mine!
Yes, that's fine.
All right. Awesome. Let me get a better zoomed in.
Well, here, guys, what's the bigger role?
Bigger than Pete Delahanty? Are they
Ronak
suggesting
or
something
Pete
else?
Delahanty?
Admiral Akbar, it's a trap, is what they want you to perform it as.
Okay, well, here, we'll have
Pete Delahanty says his is pretty big.
Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yep. This is DIAF, performed by Justin Robert Young, Brian Brushwood, and Andrew Main. DIAF is the only audiobook presentation of fan fiction by the fans, performed by the subjects. Chapter 5, The Great Spider and the White Door.
I'll take you to the library.
Gigaloop says as she flips her hair, and then dust flies out and speckles somebody else's blood on the wall.
You're going to need to access forbidden sections.
They walk the short way down to the library, and Gigaloop leads them to the massive stone doors.
Welcome to the place where all knowledge is kept.
A man in a dark robe greets them.
Hello, Patrick.
Gigaloop waves at the man.
We need to find for a way for these two to get back home.
And where is home for you?
Patrick Delahanty smiles as he slides the hood of his robes down, revealing his wizened face.
Not here.
Brian grumbles.
Not here. I believe they came from one of the outworlds.
Gigaloop says as Patrick nods in understanding.
I'll have to take my leave for them now, but will you treat them with all the respect you'd give to me?
But of course.
Patrick nods, and Gigaloop turns and exits the library back in the direction of the east wall.
So you come from the outer worlds, eh? That'll require some very old texts from a very lost section of this library. Come this way.
Patrick waves his hand down the long hallway with massive bookshelves reaching up to the ceiling on either side.
We must speak with the Guy of Shadows. He is the keeper of forbidden secrets.
Patrick says quietly, as though to mention the secrets would burn his tongue. They walk down the hallway until they reach a door with a slot in it. As soon as they approach, the door slams shut. It slams open, with a sinister pair of eyes peeking out.
What is the password?
The disembodied voice of the eyes whisper out. Patrick gets in very close to the slot.
Parsimony.
The slot slams shut, and the tumblers of the door can be heard disengaging. It finally creaks open. As they enter the dark area of the library, they figure from behind the door can be seen walking down an aisle, barely visible in his black cloak, waving as he walks.
You need tomes of the outworlds.
The cloaked man says from far down the aisle.
I will get what there is. Sit down.
He spends much of his days here. His people's skills have been irreversibly altered.
Patrick says with a smile as he sits down at the only table in this section of the library. A moment later, the cloaked man comes back with a single massive tome, sets it on the table, and he turns to walk away.
Thank you, Shadow Guy.
Patrick yells down the aisle at the man with a laugh in his voice. Patrick Delahanty opens the book slowly.
I've read this book once before.
He looks over the pages, trying to remember the facts he needs.
You seek a way back to the outer worlds.
I think so, yeah. Justin tries to peer into the book as Patrick turns the pages delicately.
I do remember this. There's only one to come from the outer worlds, whoever made it back to them.
He says as he searches the tome's many pages.
Okay, here we go. A man came from the outer worlds, ventured to find the ways of elements, the ways of magic, and then he found his way home.
What? How did they get back?
Brian asks, almost standing up from his chair.
It says he discovered a doorway in a cave deep in the demon forest. A doorway that led him home, much the same way he described the doorway leading him here.
Patrick turns the pages as he mouths the words.
Do you know of the great wizard Andrew Main?
What? Justin stands up as his chair falls back. Andrew really does know magic?
So you do know of this wizard?
Yeah,
Patrick asks.
we know of him.
Brian says, trying to calm Justin down. We need to get to this cave to find this door, Justin says with a sigh to calm himself down.
I will get you a guide and he will take you there.
Patrick says as he closes the tome and stands. A while later, Brian and Justin stand opposite a knight in full armor, packing supplies onto a horse.
This is Roniketh, one of the greatest defenders of Chat Realm.
Patrick points to the man who shakes Brian and Justin's hands.
Roniketh the D at your service.
He says as he turns back to his pack and tightens the leather straps.
Won't we need more than one guy to get us through that demon forest place?
Brian looks over Ronikith.
The great defenders of Chat Realm are a rare breed. They're the strongest soldiers that Chat Realm has ever had. There are only 5 great defenders alive now, and Roniketh is one of them.
Ronikith silently packs his horse.
Are you ready to go?
Ronikith looks up as 2 on another horse and walked up to them. Yes, sir, Justin nods as he is helped onto the horse, followed by Brian.
Then we head for the Demon Woods.
He yells as he gives his horse a swift kick, and Patrick smacks Brian and Justin's horse to get it going. They race through the plains and reach the forest very quickly. Ronikith turns to them.
If something attacks us, you two do not try and fight it. You leave it to me. These demons will very literally eat your faces.
Are you
Move more through the woods.
what? Did editorial back up? literally eat your faces, and then after that, everything got lost. They will
How about
very
now?
literally eat your faces.
Brian and Justin nod as they head into the woods. The horses move slowly through the woods. They know all well what lives in them. Ronakith scans the trees as they move forward, searching for a cave.
We should not be far. The base of the mountain is just up ahead, and that will be where we'll find caves.
Ronakith points ahead. He cocks his head as though he were listening to something, and then shakes his head and continues forward.
And there it is, the only cave we know of on this side of the mountain. This is almost certainly the one spoken of in the tome.
Ronakith jumps off his horse and helps Brian and Justin off theirs. All of a sudden, a hiss breaks the calm and silence of the forest. Ronakith grabs his sword and shield and turns to the noise. The hiss continues as loud crashing sounds bellow through the woods.
I know what approaches.
Ronakith yells over the increasingly loud hiss and crashing sounds of the trees being torn down.
You two must go. The doorway is held to be told at the bottom of the cave, not far from where we are. You must go.
The trees at the edge of their vision begin falling down as the hissing grows larger.
Go! Now!
Brian and Justin look toward the falling trees in terror in the eyes of Ronakith.
I'll be fine. You two go!
He yells as he gets into a battle stance with his shield at the ready. Brian and Justin torn through the cave and sprint into the darkness. Ronakith closes his eyes and breathes deeply, listening to the calm sounds of the forest, blocking out the terror that approaches. A moment later, the terror breaks through, and Ronakith opens his eyes to see the beast just ahead. A massive purple spider with the eyes of a man and a terrifying mouth above the spider jowls crashes through the woods, quickly approaching Ronakith.
Spider Merit.
Ronakith laughs and smiles in the face of certain death.
We meet again.
The beast's hissing stops, and the human eyes look directly at Ronakith. The spider jumps high in the air and comes down on the knight. Ronakith throws up his shield, blocking the fangs from their killer strike. He forces the spider up and rolls out from under it. The defender of Chatrelm throws down his shield and releases a massive roar, brandishing his massive sword with both hands. Spider Marit rushes him, and Ronakith spins out of the way, slashing across the spider's left set of legs. The spider releases a massive screech.
You will die for your pathetic Chatrelm.
The spider screams in an echoing voice. It begins knocking the trees down toward Ronakith. The knight has to roll out of the way of the many falling behemoths and is finally knocked down by the impact of one. He lays on the ground amidst broken branches as the spider crawls over him. The fangs come out, and Ronakith looks for his sword, just feet outside of his reach. He stares up at the massive fangs and smiles. The fangs slang down, and Ronakith closes his eyes, but the death strike is never dealt. Instead, Ronakith hears screeching as he feels the weight of Spider Marie lift off him. He looks up and sees a spear sticking out of the spider's abdomen. Spider Marie slides back away from the man, and another spear flies through the air, landing just inches from the spider in the dirt. From one of the trees jumps a woman in a tattered clothing and the crown of vines. Ronakith struggles to his feet, feeling what is most likely a bruised rib or two under his armor.
Ectoproxy.
He says to the woman who continues holding a spear, ready to throw at any time.
We all thought you'd been taken by the Demon Lord's raiding parties.
Fat chance of that.
The woman laughs.
I've been taking out a few of those raiding parties, though. Great fun.
The spider screeches, trying to peel the spear from its abdomen.
I've been training myself in the ways of survival, the art of war.
And the art of perfect timing as well.
Ronakith smiles as he picks up his sword and readies it.
Now, Spider Merit, do you feel as almighty against two of Chatrelm's great defenders?
The spider backs away as the two approach slowly. Echoproxy reels back and heaves her final spear with everything she has. The spider jumps high into the air, avoiding the spear, which slams into a tree, sliding all the way through the trunk and sticking out the other side. The massive spider disappears into the treetops and can be heard skittering away high into the branches. Ronith and Echoproxy stand in the woods. The hissing fades as the calm of the forest returns. Down in the depths of the cave, Brian and Justin run down the dark paths, and after venturing several miles into the pitch-black cave system, they happen upon a room which is fully lit by torches. At the end of the open cave sits a pure white door.
Home sweet home.
Brian yells as he runs toward the door. I can't wait to have a little chat with Amain. Justin follows as Brian goes to the door. Brian places his hand on the golden doorknob and takes a breath. He turns the knob, and the two walk through the brightly lit doorway.
We hope you've enjoyed this presentation of DIAF, the only series written by fan fiction enthusiasts and performed by the actual subjects. This episode of DIAF was performed by Justin Robert Young, Andrew Main, and Brian Brushwood. Catch all of the episodes by signing up for the iTunes podcast or join us at diaf.nsfwshow.com. If you would like to write your own story arc for the series, make sure to write and submit them to Patrick Delahanty at bbliveshow.info.
Chapter 6, Patrick Delahanty gets an award. You will honor me!
I'm bummed that we can't get everything right in exactly one take, but on general, re-record the line that you read that should have gone to Andrew Maines. I don't know which one that was. I think there was one that, where I realized at the end that it sounded like Ronak was talking about himself in third person. So, Andrew, re-record this. Like, hold on. It's like, is one of the you want the best of the best, something, blah de blah. There we go. This line right here. The great defenders of Chat Realm are a rare breed, and the rarest, this one.
All right. Yeah, okay, so
That's your line, and
Okay.
I read it about, like,
well, because they had a Roniketh silently packs his horse, which would imply that it was a Roniketh line, so you were fine.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, no, no problem. Yeah, no. I mean, it's like you didn't. No, nobody screwed up here. All right, I just got to remember the horrible accent I was doing. Okay. The great defenders of Chatrome are a rare breed. They're the strongest soldiers that Chatrome has ever had. There are only 5 great defenders alive now, and Roniketh is one of them.
All right, and somebody's saying that Lonely.Geek, who's going to produce this, says, start at, then we head for the Demon Woods. So I don't know if we're a bit off.
I was just there.
Then we head, here we go. This is what you need. So yeah, this would be, I guess this would be you then, if I did get it right. And Roniketh is one of them. Yes, sir, Justin nods, blah, blah. So this would be... I guess this would be Roniketh here.
Yeah.
All right. Then we head for the Demon Woods.
Okay, so that's
He
me.
yells as he...
Oh,
wait,
sorry,
are
we'll
we
do it
doing that
again.
whole paragraph?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's not... Well, wait, is that Roniketh or is that...
This is Roniketh. Are you ready to go? Roniketh says, yes, sir. And then he says, then we head for the Demon Woods. So I think
Okay.
this is apparently where the glitch was.
Okay, so that's still Patrick.
Yeah. No. Yeah, this is Roniketh here. All right.
Then we head for the Demon Woods is Ronikith.
Yeah, right.
I guess apparently this was a different thing. This wasn't somebody reading someone else's line.
Right,
There was
this
a
was
dropout.
this was an audio glitch, right?
Yeah.
Then we head for the Demon Woods.
He yells as he gives his horse a swift kick, and Patrick smacks Brian and Justin's horse to get it going. They race through the plains and reach the forest very quickly. Ronikith turns to them.
If something attacks us, you two do not try to fight it. You leave it to me. These demons will very literally eat your faces.
Brian and Justin nod as they head into the woods.
Scene.
All right, is that everything?
That's all we need, right?
Is that all we
No,
need?
they said that. They said that paragraph. So
Yeah. All right. Done and done and done. Lonely.Geek gives us an all caps. Thank you. Literally. I got an award for that
Never gets
mispronunciation.
old. Never gets old at all. Never.
I'll tell you what. If there is not a point in which we meet Andrew Main, as referenced, of course, I didn't realize that Andrew.
I
Main
didn't
was
realize
gonna
Andrew May was going to be in this either. This is going to be exciting, dude.
in chapter 5.
Who's your
there-
next guest? I got to find out who plays me.
Yeah,
Veronica
dude, this is
Belmont?
fantastic. All right, I'm going to hit stop and record.
I'll
on
tell you what.
that.
Yeah, you know, Veronica and Tom have their Sword and Laser podcast where they talk about other fiction. Fuck that noise. We write our own fiction.
All right, I'm recording. All right, so now we're gonna do weird things, right?
Oh yeah, the podcast, yeah, that too.
Yeah. Do you guys want to take a short break, play a little music break? And then,
Wait, best suggestion ever: have Rooker play me.
Oh my God.
Well, how would you tell the difference though? I'd be kind of like, I don't, because it's audio. I don't think people would know.
You know what? We will add a voice whispering.
Let's all have a powwow.
That's not Brian. That's actually, or that's not Andrew. That's Rooker. That's Rooker. Yes, I will restart the stream as soon as this thing stops encoding. So it's going to encode for the next 2 minutes. You guys want to take a short break?
Oh yeah.
All right, here. Let me show you something I wanted to share with everyone earlier, but there was not.
By the way, my so-called 8-bit life still on the front page of iTunes.
Dude, it's still rocking. People really like it, and it's not astroturfing.
Hey, what's better than unicorns?
What I
A
give
billion unicorns.
what?
Ready? Anybody? What's better than unicorns?
A dual corn.
You guys ready? Riding unicorns with chat room.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome.
Wouldn't that be fun, guys? We all ride unicorns together. One day you will. AT&T promises.
Huh.
Admitted they were fake.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here, you guys watch this, and we'll be back. By the time you're done with this, we'll be back, and it'll be awesome.
Satan gave me a taco and it made me really sick. The chicken was all raw and the grease was mighty thick. The rice was all rancid and the beans were so hard. I was getting kinda dizzy, eating all the lard. There was aphids on the lettuce and I ate every one. And after I was done, the salsa melted off my tongue. Pieces of tortilla got stuck in my throat, and the stains on my clothes burned a hole through my coat. My stomach was trembling, I broke out in a rash. I was so dry and thirsty, and I didn't have no cash. So I went and found a hose, tore off all my clothes, turned on the water and it shot right up my nose. Some old lady came along and she thought I was a freak, so she beat me with a handbag till I could hardly speak. I was lying there naked, my body badly bruised in a pool of my own blood, unconscious and confused. Well, the cops came and got me and threw me in their van. And I woke up on the ceiling and I couldn't find my hand. They took me to the judge, his eyes are glowing red. The courtroom was filled with witches and the dead. Well, the sheriff was a hellhound with fangs and claws. The prisoners were tied up and chained to the walls. The air was getting thick, the smoke was getting thicker. The judge read the verdict, said, cut off his head. But they placed me on the altar and he raised up the axe. My head was about to explode when I noticed the marshal stacks. I noticed all the smoke machines, the cameras and the lights. Some guy with a microphone running around dancing in tights. And I noticed the crew and the band playing down below. And I realized I was in a rock video. So I went and joined the band, and I went out on tour. And I smoked a lot of heroin, and I passed out in manure. I made out with the groupies, started fires backstage, made a lot of money, and I gave it all away. Well, the band got killed,
All right, I'm gonna restart the stream.
By the way, for the record, in America, DIF is number 7 in literature. And then let me check art.
Overall.
We are number 4 on the new and noteworthy.
Overall, you should.
No, that's all right. So let's see.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Sure. 18 overall.
That may, in fact, be the greatest thing.
Oh my God. By the way, do you know that New Brew Thursday is in art? I guess that's technically art.
No,
right?
they've been up, but they've been up for a while. Those are good guys. I've been on that show. You should be on that show too if you're ever in the SFW area.
Sure. We are right behind the Sam audio podcast about Picasso.
Yeah, New Brew Thursday. Those are good guys. Okay, so I'm gonna start and restart the feed. That way we have it as its own thing. Ready?
All right.
Fuck all you.